Hello, and welcome to another episode of A Thought in Progress, subtitled I Have Something to Say. Now, there's a couple things I want to talk about today. It's going to be a vlog episode, a little bit, just kind of bring you into my world, and let you know where I'm at and everything. Even if you don't find it terribly entertaining, it's therapeutic to me, so it helps me, kind of like a journal diary type thing. So it's a good coping skill. I recommend it to whoever may be watching and looking for new coping skills, um, or whatever, what may have you. Um, First off, I want to say there's an event coming up on this Tuesday, the 21st. Today's Sunday, the 19th of September, 2021. On Tuesday, the 21st, from about 5 p.m. to 8 p.m., there is a trauma-informed care panel discussion. There's a movie going on, kind of a viewing of that movie, and then a discussion afterwards, um, of which I am part of the panel. That being said, please go to events at einstein.edu and RSVP. They will send you a link. I'm pretty sure it's free. Just RSVP and to that email address, events at einstein.edu, and they will send you a link so you can connect with me and several other esteemed panelists. For actually, it's through where I work at the Einstein Hospital, the Einstein uh, Medical Center. Um, okay, so um, today I want to talk a little bit about opportunity costs. And I think I've talked about that before, about being in the here and now, being nice to yourself, forgiving yourself, and learning to live with some disappointment, and learning to live with not always being your best self. So what does that mean? If we're talking about being in the here and now, we're talking about process versus results. If we're always focused on results, we're going to be up and down, good result, bad result, victory, defeat, encouragement, disappointment, and we're going to be on what the Buddhists call the karma wheel, and we're never going to really experience proper enlightenment, proper attaining of our best self. What what I have kind of gleaned from Buddhist philosophy is that it's about the process. If we stay in the moment instead of focusing on outcomes, results, we can better extend the window of our experience in that moment to kind of encompass the present moment and its process moving forward, and also kind of extending and being able to more deeply look into the past of our actions and our experience as human beings. If we can do that, if we can focus on the process, um, we're going to be more fulfilled. We're going to be more, able to be flexible and problem solve. One of the things I'm going to talk about on Tuesday is how trauma teaches us paralysis. It teaches us this paralysis that is focused on in survival mode, um, so that our frontal lobe kind of shuts down because we're dealing with all these signals of, oh, the trauma could be repeated and I've got to watch out so that doesn't happen again. And so your brain kind of goes into survival mode and you can't really problem solve. Um, the other thing I want to touch on, and this is in the same line or in the same vein, is that September, I believe, is National Suicide Prevention Month or something along those lines, as uh, my sister-in-law actually alerted me to that and said, "Yo, you have to do a video." So shout out to her. Um, Now, if we're talking about, you know, um, strangely survival mode, um, can lead to wanting to end it, and so you can get out of the constant barrage of negative thinking and bad experience. Um, so I would encourage everybody to, before they get to that point, look for hope, look for help, um, connect with someone, because what happens is my mental health diagnosis, and whoever is watching who may or may not have a mental health diagnosis, the diagnosis, um, even if it's not even if it's not a kind of a demonic type thing, the diagnosis kind of does take on a life of its own and try and teach the person with the diagnosis that, in fact, they are isolated and no one's going through the same stuff. And that's just not true. And healing begins with the connection. Healing begins with the vulnerability and the sharing and the connection. So that being said, um, look to get the connection that you need, to be healthy, to move, forward and excel in life, and um, extend the window of wellness and enjoy the process of living. Um, I will share a story. When I was younger, in one of my, I don't know how to call it, my weirder moments, when I was living in a shabby kind of pay per month hotel type situation out in Pittsburgh. uh, I remember calling my dad and being like, "Dad, why does everything suck all the time for me?" And he was, but like, "I don't know, son." And so, I thought, like, that highlights that I, at that moment, thought that life sucked just for me and it didn't suck for other people, that I had a bad stroke of luck or a bad run of the cards or something. But what I found out over time is that life can suck for everybody, right? Um, the people that I work with now, I'm talking about my coworkers. I connect with them and I connect with other people and other friends that I've made, fairly recently, and they go, "Yeah, this happened and the other thing happened, and my apartment sucks and I hate it there and there's roaches." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'm going through something similar. My apartment's a little bit shabby too." And so that's the connection that's healing that I'm talking about, right? And you start to connect with people and you go, "Okay, I'm not living in my own personal hell." And that makes life a little more bearable. So that's something to remember. Look to make connections. Look to forgive yourself. Be nice to yourself, and allow yourself to make those connections, so that you're not cutting people off, um, just by being, uh, focused on yourself or whatever, which happens to me quite often. I'm still working through that process. Okay. All right. So, update on my book. The book is coming along nicely. I have a weird way of writing, so that, when I do write, I get so intensely into it, I can write about a paragraph, per sitting. Unfortunately, with work and everything else, those sittings only happen about, once a week, if that. So it's slow going, but I like to think that, um, I'm getting the most out of each time I sit and write, and really, intensely focusing, so much so that it runs my tank empty pretty quickly. Um, that being said, I hope to have, I know, let's put it this way, I'm giving myself a deadline of Christmas to have the thing all the way written, and I'm very close to having it done. Um, Little side note, I talked to a student intern at work, and I was telling them, "Yeah, I write on the side. I've got a little writing thing going on the side. It doesn't sell much." And she was, oh my God, she was so nice. She said, "Yeah, it starts out that way for other people too." And this was after I had told her my life story, basically, and told her, "Yeah, and what she said, she was like, "I bet that would make a great story one day." And I said, "Yeah, I write fiction that kind of plays off of those experiences." And I gave the caveat, but it doesn't sell. Um, and she was like, "Well, and I guess she was impressed with my story, or my manner of telling it, because I'm a good storyteller. You know, buy my books, you'll find out." And she was very kind, and it was just like, yeah, it starts out that way for most authors type thing. Um, so that being said, I don't know if the book will ever sell, but you, dear viewer, can be a part of making that happen, and being part of the, let's call it the movement, to to buy my books. And that being said, I call it the movement because, if the books do ever sell one day, um, you know, perhaps some of those proceeds will get donated to charity, so that this is not about me. This is about healing. This is about connection. This is about telling our stories. Um, and I encourage out there to put pen to paper, put your face on the YouTube, create a channel, create stuff. We get so caught up in consuming all the time, we forget to create content, right? And so I encourage you to do that. You can look up more about me on jasontapscott.com. I also have a Facebook page. You can look that up too. My author's page, I think it's under my first name and my last name, Jason Tapscott. Um, Okay, great, great. Thank you for listening, and I will catch you guys next time. Have a good day.